Were you one of the many people that picked up knife throwing as a hobby during the quarantine this year? Or perhaps you got a brand new set of throwing knives for Christmas. Or maybe you've seen me or one of my many friends on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook throwing knives and you wanted to give it a try yourself. This video is for you. My name is Danger, founder of the Full Tang Clan, two-time world champion, trick shot artist, International Knife Throwers Hall of Famer, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is a tutorial. This is going to be just for beginners. This is not an advanced tutorial at all. Maybe I'll do one of those in the future. But I just wanted to go over the first part of this video is going to be knives, what to buy, what to look for. The second part of the video, I'll just be going over the three main techniques, which are no spin, rotational, and half spin. And I'll be demonstrating some things to get you sticking knives in no time. Let's get to it. So I'm going to start off with the cheap knives. I think we've all, many of us competitive throwers, we all started with the cheap Bud K, Mall Ninja, gas station knives, just knives that you see and you didn't know any better. For example, something like this, the Kunai knife from the Expendables. Had a set of these. This one broke immediately, had to refile it down. Don't recommend these. They're good for like a display piece, not good for throwing. By the way, I call all of these knives starter knives or gateway knives because eventually you're going to get tired of those and move on to the production knives such as Cold Steel, Boker, stuff like that. And then from there, you find out that you want even better knives, custom knives, and you move on to the good stuff. Makers like Bill Page, Bullseye Blades, Angel Fire knives. The list goes on and on. So like I said, gateway knives. Stuff you're going to want to avoid. It's knives similar to this. Anything with a gimmick, any zombie looking, they're okay, they look alright. You can definitely throw them, but they're just so light and thin. These are actually dangerous. They're stainless steel. They have extreme bounce back. Just as far as you throw them, they can bounce back just that far. These are pretty dangerous. I would try to avoid those. These and Perfect Point, anything you see that's smaller than 9 inches, like stuff that comes with a dartboard and 12 knives, you don't want those. For real knife throwing, you don't want those. Other ones to stay away from are these. At least the smaller set. This is actually a knockoff of the Smith & Wesson knives. These are the smaller ones. The bigger ones are a little bit easier to manage. Those aren't so bad. The 10-inch ones, I believe you can get those at Dick's Sporting Goods and places like that. Then, I've had all the cheap, shitty knives, man. All of them. So, these guys, Gil Hibbins, they're actually pretty good for half spin, but for rotational and no spin, no bueno. No bueno. Same with these. These are actually endorsed by the International Knife Throwers Hall of Fame. I don't endorse them. These are really cool looking. They come with a pretty cool sheath, but they're still in that small knife, bouncy back kind of shit. Here's a little jazzed up version of the black ones. Just showed you. These are actually, they're not bad. They look cool, right? But they're just not, they're too small. Has a really nice sheath though. Been holding on to these for a while. I kind of like these for nostalgia. The one Gil Hibbins that I do recommend are these, the 11-inch Tonto. These are pretty damn good. They're heavier. They are mass produced and I've had a lot of them break, but I have ordered probably at least a dozen sets of these over the years because this is what I took my throwing to the next level. They're 11 inches, but my first competition I was still allowed to use these. There's a 12-inch minimum, 12 to 16 inches, and I'll get into that later. But I still scored expert with these, so these are pretty good. Out of all those, I would recommend these only. So after that, went to my first competition, and I found these. These are what's up. These are made by Bill Page. These are Griffins. In my opinion, this is the best knife of all time. Good for all styles. Love this knife. Sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit. There are a couple production knives that if you just want to go ahead and bypass buying all that stuff, breaking them, getting injured and spending a lot of wasteless money, then you can get, these are the Sureflight Sports Pro. These are the longer ones. I recommend these. These are not bad. I think they're like 15 to 20 bucks. You can get these on Amazon and from Cold Steel. These and the Boker Zeal 2s, the most recommended knives in my opinion for starting out. If you just want to bypass all that stuff and get the good stuff, go right to these or the Boker Zeal 2. I don't have any of those with me. I had them a long time ago, gave them away. From there, we're going to go into, well, these were actually professional knives, custom knives, but I'm going to show you some other custom knives right now. Now there are 3 distinct techniques, styles, sorry. It is rotational, no spin, and half spin. And then there are different techniques that we can break down later for each one of those that people use. Here is another type of Griffin. This one was made by Joe Dara, designed and made by Joe Dara. This is a 15-inch Outlaw Bowie made by Justin Outlaw Cooper. Really great knives. Another rotational knife. This is a Spinner Bowie by Bullseye Blades. This is a Bullseye Bowie, or Bullseye Seeker, excuse me, Bullseye Seeker. Highly recommend these. These are made by Bill Page. Won 2 world championships with these. Really love these knives. This one here is made by Marcel Sharpshooter Knives. Excellent knife, really cool. And then you can get into the more instinctive knife throwing. They're a little shorter. So this is a Danger Dashi designed by me. This was made by Matto Forge Works. This was also made by Matto Forge Works, but this is another one of my designs called the Anti-Bowie. And yeah, that about covers it for knives. I'm not going to try to make this too long. Yeah, let's get into some throwing. Show you guys how to stick a knife in a few minutes. Okay, now we're going to move on to getting you to actually stick a knife. Now, as my job as a knife throwing instructor and teacher is just to get people to stick knives. After that is accomplished and you get consistency, then you can work on refining your technique to make you a better thrower and more consistent thrower. But my job is to just get you to stick knives. And I'm going to teach you the way that I was taught. I used to be primarily a rotational thrower. Since then, I have moved on to every style of throwing. And I may not be great at all of those, but I am good. And one piece of advice that I will give you is stick with one technique until you get that down. Don't try to mix it all up because it's actually detrimental. I do it all the time, and I'm not as good as I once was when I was just sticking with rotational. That's all I did at the time. I wanted to be a good competitive thrower. That's all I trained for. After that, I moved on to no spin and instinctive half spin. So I'll show you the rotational, get you a stick and a knife, show you a couple different throws, and then I will demonstrate half spin and no spin, and maybe I'll go into more depth on that in another video. Here we go. So one rotation from the handle is about 4 steps depending on your stride, just a natural step. So what you want to do is put your back to the target, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then spin. This should be my exact 1 spin rotation. Yours may be a little bit closer, a little bit further. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to judge your distance. Let's say that you weren't sticking them. Well, if your knife is hitting like this, that means you're under rotating. A perfect stick is perpendicular. This means you're under rotating. Perfect stick, this means you're too far away. You need to be a little bit closer. So you can kind of use that as a judge. So that is one rotation. Now, don't get confused. I know I said half spin, and there is a half spin in rotational throwing, but it's a set distance. All of this is a set distance. It's not exact for everybody, but it'll be about every 3 feet for a different rotation. This is a half spin from 7 feet, 10 feet, 13, 16, so on and so forth. So I'm going to show you a couple half spins right now. This is my grip. By the way, I'll go over grips real quick. Hammer grip, pinch grip. Don't recommend pinch grip. Modified handshake grip. See, my fingers are kind of wrapped around right there. This is what I use right there. So, all right, I'm gonna go back to a couple half spins. Now, I don't have that much room in my garage, but maybe I can demonstrate a couple 1.5 spins real quick. So, back to the blade. See, that is hanging by the tip. It's down. I need to back up about 4 inches. I'm gonna back up a little bit. Perfect. Perfect. Now, as far as stance goes, I'm a right-handed thrower. I stand with my left foot forward. Dart throwers throw right foot forward to keep more in line, and that's totally fine. There is no wrong way to throw a knife. If you're sticking it and it feels comfortable, keep doing that. Hopefully that was explained well enough. This is my first tutorial going over all this stuff. Got a lot of info in my head. I'm not exactly sure how to get it out there to you guys. So I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to demonstrate some no spin and half spin throwing. Now, there's several different ways of doing it. There's many different styles, you know, like a Madu, Scamph, BMO, Fedden. Like, there's a lot of different ways of doing it. So this is how I throw no spin. Finger right here. I throw a little bit more of a sidearm. Some people throw straight over the top. Some people throw straight sidearm. That was no spin throwing. Now, there's also half spin throwing. Similar to what I told you, it's only making a half rotation. You're holding it from the blade and it's going like this, but instead of holding it like this or like this, you're gonna put your finger on there similar to no spin. And I'll demonstrate a couple over the top, and then I'll do a couple sidearm to give you a demonstration there. Let's try that again. Overhand half spin. Controlling the rotation with your finger. Okay, that was a little more over the top, really sliding it out. Now I'm going to throw sidearm. There we go. So I think that concludes this video for now. Please let me know what you thought. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'm always down to answer knife throwing questions. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. Danger out. Peace, man.